Maybe you guys seen this meme here where it says like one of the miracles no one talks about from Jesus, how he had 12 friends in his 30s. And I was just thinking to myself, man, that is a very true statement. Guys, my name is James and welcome to this beautiful crazy life. This channel, what do we do here? Well, we talk about everything. We talk about politics, religion, media, dating, mental health. Maybe we'll get into fitness because I need to get fit, right? Everything through a Christian lens. And today what I want to talk about is this idea of friendship. You know, how do you make friends in your 30s? Because that's actually like kind of a hard thing. Even in your 20s, like when you get out of high school or maybe you're no longer in college, how do you make good friends? How do you make Christian friends? Now, full disclosure here, this isn't like a recipe on what to do. These are just things that helped me when I was looking for Christian friends. So let me just explain my story real quick, guys. I used to be a hardcore atheist. Right? I was the most liberal atheist there ever was. Well, that's probably not true, but I was very atheist and I did not have any really any reason to join a church. I never wanted to be part of a church or do ministry or anything like that. And when I found Jesus, man, I was super excited to go to church. But one of the things that was for me was that I wasn't really making any friends at my church. Like, people are friendly, like a lot of churches, the people are friendly, but and people would kind of reach out and stuff like that and talk to you. But all my friends, if I'm honest, were mostly people who I were friends with prior. But then at some point I realized, like, man, I want to talk to people about the Bible. I want to talk to people about Jesus. I want to talk to people about what's just going on in my life and the things I'm learning, experience. And while my non-Christian friends were listening, it didn't feel like we were always connecting there the same way, like when we used to talk about other things. And so I was just like, man, what can I do to make Christian friends? And it became really easy to me. It was just like, well, you probably just need to show up to things, right? And I'm a people person, which I mean, like, I know how to talk to people pretty well, but what I wouldn't say is that I'm super good at making like friendships or relationships that are very real. Like, that actually requires a lot of work. And so it's a little bit of a barrier for me, and you're probably the same way. Like, when a lot of people see me, like maybe they see me on stage, give like a sermon or a message or something, and to them they're like, wow, this guy is so like friendly. And you know, I used to do things like I would greet people at our church where for like new people come in, I would talk to them and tell them about my church. I did young adults ministry, I preached, you know, I would do announcements. I did a lot of things in my old church. And so people would be like, man, this guy's super friendly. But then maybe when they would try like talking to me more than just sort of like the surface level stuff, I'm always been more of a guarded person, kind of a little more standoffish than I think people would probably realize. And I think a lot of people who maybe fit into that creative thing would have something similar. And so not like the easiest person maybe to make friends with, but these are steps that help me. And if you're kind of like me, a much more like high anxious person, a very guarded person, if this could help me, this will definitely help you. I just showed up at places like there was a young adults event on Friday nights at 7 p.m. I had a kind of a crazy work schedule, so I actually wouldn't get off of work till 8 o'clock during that time. So I would like take PTO for twice a month. Like, I purposely took an hour off work twice a month for like 4 months, and I would just show up to this event just so I can get to know people. It did require a little bit of a sacrifice, but it was something that I found valuable because you're not going to meet people if you don't actually show up where they are. Second thing I did, maybe I'll make this a little more clean. I'm definitely freestyling a lot of this compared to some of my other videos, which you should definitely check out my other videos. Guys, if you like what I'm saying, make sure to like and subscribe and check out all the other stuff at the end when you see the cool title cards and all that. One of the other things I did was I joined a Bible study or a small group. That was definitely very helpful. So I joined 2 groups. I did the young adults thing, and then I joined a small group because I knew that would be another way to meet people, because I didn't just want to meet people of just my age. I wanted people from all different parts of the church. I was trying to figure out who my people are and get an idea of what it meant to be a Christian. The other thing I did was something out of my comfort zone. I would just show up at things because we were in this group chat. So someone's like, hey, I'm having like a worship night. So one day I just went there. This is something that I don't particularly feel comfortable doing. I didn't actually know the person. Well, I mean, I met her before, but I didn't really know her. Now we're like super close friends. She's one of my closest friends. But at the time, like, I just went there and talked, and it was a little awkward for me. But you know, my friend, she's super cool. Shout out to her. She knows who she is if she watches this. But I just went there. So not only did I just do the official church things, if there was other things happening outside the church, I would just show up. I think probably the big thing you'll hear is just like literally showing up there, because that really is key. I think that's sort of like the big key, because everything was literally showing up to a bunch of events, and that's where I got to know certain people I vibed with, people maybe I didn't vibe with, you know, joining all these different things. I mean, yeah, it was super time consuming. It definitely required sacrifice, but for me to get what I was looking for, I had to do it. And I think a lot of times we just sort of expect these things to fall in our lap. But the fact is, a lot of times this is not how life works. Whether you are looking to date someone, you know, you can pray and like, yeah, but like at some point you still have to like talk to the person. The other thing I did was I had patience, guys. Like, wow, one of the fruits of the Spirit is long suffering. So I definitely, you know, had to have patience. Like, people just didn't want to be my best friend or necessarily come and talk to me all the time. Some people did, some people didn't. But I just did it, you know, and you just learn that being patient with people, you having patience with yourself, especially if you're like in a new city, new church, whatever. Like it literally takes time. Like, no one is just going to want to be your best friend because they find you super interesting. That's just not how life works, right? Like it literally takes time, and those friendships will form and they will change, and maybe you'll be in a couple different groups before you really find your person and your people. The other thing I did, I was just open, dude. Like, I was pretty new to church, didn't understand church culture, you know, coming from like an atheist background. Like, there's so many different types of people walking to a church, and I had to just be open to it. Like, one of my closest friends is this like two awesome people. They have a bunch of kids, they homeschool their kids, they use essential oils. Like, if you had said those would be two of my closest friends and our kids would be super close, I would have probably been like, I highly doubt that. But because I was open to receiving people who they are, and not just judging them for what they look like or what I think they might be like, or having all these presumptions and assumptions. Is presumptions and assumptions the same word or different words? I don't know, but I used it, so just roll with me. That was also a very big key, because you really don't know like who will be a good friend or not. God's going to put people in your life who you will need. So it's just good to be open and just allow God and the Spirit to lead those people to you. And the thing I want to end with is prayer. Prayer is like the big thing I think that really matters. Like, you know, protect yourself and, you know, have boundaries, but also be open. Like, it's a very careful balance, and just see what God has to offer for you, and just pray about it. Pray about finding a good church, finding good people, and just have fun with it. And don't have any expectations, but just pray, and I'm sure God will lead the people to you. So that's my prayer for you guys this week, is that you find a good community if you're looking for one. And I hope you found this video helpful. This is definitely freestyle. I was sort of just walking around, and I was just like, dude, I should just do a video right now. So we'll see how this goes, but I'll make the editing really cool, I promise. Anyway, guys, if you like this, make sure to like, subscribe, check out the other two videos here, and I'll see you guys later.